Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Well, every report I always try to give, every week I try to talk about Black Lake because it is our area's fish factory. It's 20 some miles of almost all the water contains fish. And this is a rare exception because in most bodies of water, 90% of the fish are going to be in 10% of the water. Or another way of looking at it is 90% of the water is going to be pretty much fishless, but not the case in Black Lake. It has so much. And I called my buddy Jigger Jim this morning to find out because he works at the log cabin, but he's an avid fisherman. And he knows that lake like the back of his hand. And he's always eager to give me information to help all of you. And I said, so Jim, I'm sure you're out fishing. Today's your day off. Tell me what you're doing. He says, well, I'm with a buddy from Michigan that's come here, and we're horny toad fishing. And I'm thinking, okay, well, will people know what I'm talking about? No, they're not trying to catch horny toads. Horny toad are a Zoom soft plastic bait, about 4 inches long, that are shaped like a frog. And they have two little legs that paddle in the back, and you cast them out and you reel them along the surface. The hook is hooked in them Texas style. You use a 5/0 worm hook, and you'll hook them just like you would a plastic worm, Texas rigged with a hook buried. And boy, I'll tell you what, Jim says to me that it's the most spectacular fishing on Black Lake is horny toad fishing. And I said, okay, I know horny toads are the number one lure that my friends use for catching muskies in our tributary rivers. So what color do you use? And he says, well, I got to tell you, you know Dennis. Dennis works in the log cabin as well, and he is an expert with horny toads. And his favorite color, in fact, all he uses is green pumpkin. He says, but most of the guys right now fishing on Black Lake are using white. Horny toads come in a number of colors, but he says, I don't know if it's the colors that make the difference or if it's you having confidence in the color that makes the difference. But when you have calm conditions and you want to fish where there's weeds and all kinds of structure for fish, by using a horny toad Texas rig, you can throw it into anything and it's not going to get snagged. You can fish it over any kind of cover, and the bass seem to love them. You get that tremendous, violent commotion strike on the surface that makes it all the more fun. So you both feel it and see it, and gosh, they're a wonderful bait. So the bass fishing is good. There was a tournament last weekend, and the winning bag of fish was almost 20 pounds. That's awfully good. Those are big fish that we take for granted that are taken on Black Lake. He says the crappies have finished spawning. They're in deep water right now, 15, 17 feet of water, harder to fish. He says, here's his recommendation. Don't anchor when you find these fish because they're not going to stay still. They're moving. So if you find them, keep drifting. If you anchor, the fish are going to leave you behind. And so there's still great crappie fishing, but it's totally different than when they're spawning. They're finished spawning. They've moved out to deep water, and you got to use a different technique. Northern pike have been feeding up, and there's a lot of great northern pike in Black Lake. But once the minnows get to be 3 inches long, the pike, they're so fed up that you can put lures past them, and they might not hit. They're different than bass. Bass you can always aggravate into biting. A lot of times northern is ferocious, and as toothy as they are, and as predatory, and as avalanche and sabotage type of fish that they are, they will hide and then charge. If they're fed up, they can go days without striking. So, but the great thing is that Black Lake has it all. It's a fish factory, and it's just waiting for you to give it a try. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.